From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
we get started today with the starter of the NTT Indycar Series, Aaron Likens. We'll tell you about a new access to capital opportunity coming up for veterans from Venture Vet. And we draw an inspiration from our young sprint car driver turned coffee entrepreneur. She just got a huge boost thanks to Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
We get started today with the starter of the NTT Indycar Series, Aaron Likens. We caught up with him the morning of the big race to find out how he met the challenges of an autism diagnosis to become an author, sought-after speaker, all while pursuing his true passion for auto racing.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Yeah, so I got diagnosed later in life, age 20. Autism awareness and understanding just wasn't back then. Unless you were diagnosed, the word autism, people might have known the word, but knew nothing about it. And my doctor was that same way. He sent me to get an assessment. It came back, no doubt, Asperger's. He had never heard of it, so he told me, good luck. Good luck. Well, I had never heard of it, so I had to look it up on the internet. And first thing I read was not a medically accurate website. It stated that people with Asperger's will never have a job, will never have friends, will never be happy. Unfortunately, I believe those words. And in life, autism spectrum or not, if you believe no, don'ts, and can'ts, that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's what happened to me. To say I was depressed was an understatement. If I could have just vanished, I would have been completely okay. 15 months later, a proverbial fuse blew, and somehow I was able to access emotions, and not just, I was able to express them via writing it down on a computer screen. So I started writing. No intention on writing my first book. It was just a way to communicate to my dad on who I was and why I was. And I kept writing, and it became a book, which to this day I still can't believe I'm an author. In school, I hated to write. It was the worst thing in the world. Yet now I'm an author, but it was my way to discover myself. It was like the most intense therapy session. And I came up with all these concepts to describe, not just, I'm on the autism spectrum, here's why it's difficult. I gave the reasons and metaphors on why some of the behaviors are the way they are to help other people understand the whys, not just the how it feels. For myself, the things that kept me going during those dark times, I was still involved in racing, so the interests I had, I clung on to. Unemployment, unfortunately for us with Asperger's, is, according to Diversity Journal, is around 70 to 75%. That's alarmingly high, and during that dark time, I was in that, outside of working races on the weekend. So I honed my craft unknowingly through writing, and after the book was published, after my first book, Finding Kansas, was published, really, I wish I could say I did all these great things, but no, it was people around me that saw talent that I didn't know I had. I got to present at a master's level teaching class in 2009, and it was sort of an ambush. My dad said we were going to go to this. Now, I had no idea. I'm like, why are we going to this college? What? And then halfway there, he told me, oh, by the way, you're presenting tonight. I'm what? So I don't advise other people being put in this situation, but I was put in a sink or swim situation. I'm shy, contrary to what you're seeing right now. Outside of a racetrack, outside of a presentation, you probably will not get me to talk. I'll avoid eye contact at all costs, but in the right environment, somehow I was able to give that presentation. And then someone else heard about that presentation, and then Ron Ekstrand, who at the time was a CEO of a nonprofit in St. Louis. He's now CEO of Easter Seals, Arkansas. He brought me on to consult in one of their parent training programs, and then that led to me presenting at the St. Louis Police Academy. Again, I thought, what do I have to offer? They gave me a PowerPoint. I presented. I thought I did awful. The reviews were great. Second presentation, I thought I did awful. The reviews were even higher. I just worked on my craft, and thankfully other people kept giving me the opportunities and saw talents in myself that I didn't know I had. I was a race director, which for a regional series in 2006, 2007, and I wish the world could have seen my first driver's meeting. It was horrible. It was 40 minutes of me almost reading the entire rule book in the driest, slowest, stumbling over words because I had never talked in front of a group meeting ever. It was a train wreck. Although when you're the race director, nobody's going to say, hey, that was horrible. No, everybody went, that was good. You don't want to get on the bad side of the race director. Somehow that gave me confidence, and from there, my meetings got a little bit shorter. The promoter of that series at the time, Greg Yoakum, I started working for him at his kart shop as well, but him giving me the opportunity was huge, because from there I got discovered. And this story, when I talk to individuals on the spectrum, I often say this next story because you just never know who's going to be watching you when. It was our season opener in 2008 in St. Louis, and the owner of Supercarts USA, SCUSA, was there because we had just become SCUSA affiliated. I do my flagging and race directing throughout the weekend, and at the end of a race weekend, as soon as the protest window is over, I would leave. I wouldn't stay for the podium. We have people chit-chat, people socialize. I'd want no part of that. My communication is done with flags, not with chit-chat. But the promoter, Greg, told me, hey, Aaron, you need to stay around for the podiums. I said, why? You got to help out. So I helped out, which was just me standing around doing nothing. I was confused, like, why am I here? Halfway through the podium, Tom Kutcher, the owner of SCUSA, just stopped the podium and said, hey, everybody, I've seen some interesting stuff at a racetrack. Now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what? Nothing good comes from that statement. He then says, yes, I've seen some interesting stuff, but I've never seen anything like I've seen this weekend. Now I'm scared. I'm like, oh, what did I mess up a call? And then he said, okay, everyone, I just got to say, I found my new flagger for the Super Nationals, which is the largest go-kart race in the world. I found my newest flagger. Aaron, do you want the job? What? I've been to that race as a photographer twice. IndyCar drivers have raced in it. Michael Schumacher ran it in 2009. It is a huge deal. I knew, it would be the Indy 500 of karting. And to be offered that job, well, I wasn't auditioning. That weekend was just doing my job because what I was doing, I loved. And I got noticed. If not for that weekend, I doubt I'd be here today working the Indy 500. I'd definitely be here as a spectator, but I would not be here with the IndyCar shirt on, ready to work the greatest spectacle in racing. So it was just so great that I had talents, but other people saw it and noticed it. It's Plane in Traffic, the title of the book. There's a photo on the back cover that was taken at the 2009 SCUSA Super Nationals. And when my mom saw that online, she immediately called, which there were karts on track at the time. I shouldn't have answered. I did. The race was spread out. And she said, Aaron, I saw that photo. Didn't I tell you not to play in traffic? Quit it. I didn't quit it, but so that title was 15 years in the making. This month of May has been something I've never been able to imagine. My dream was to flag the race, but to have my book available here and to be called an inspiration, to be called, I'm here because this was just my dream. So to be able to expand on that, I don't think I haven't processed what that means yet. People have come up, I love your story, thank you. My kid's on the spectrum saw you. He completely changed attitude. I think if I could really feel that and process that, I wouldn't be who I am, because I'm just, it's still just a dream, a wonderful dream.
If you are a veteran and an entrepreneur who has the next big idea, Venture Vets is partnering with this year's Rally Innovation Conference for the inaugural Vet Pitch Competition. Can help you get access to some capital. Business Equity and Opportunity sat down with founder Courtney Zog of Venture Vets to find out how her organization is helping veterans build business success and how you can apply for an opportunity to pitch your idea.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
So I'm Courtney Zog. I am a spouse of a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm an economic developer by training, but we're also entrepreneurs. And we have organized Venture Vets, which is a community initiative supporting veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs here in Indiana. It was 2017. Probably before that, when we started our construction company called Zinc Contractors. And my husband and I met with, at that time, the resources that were available and thought, this needs to be easier. And the folks that we met with were very helpful, but just wasn't quite enough. And so we started putting together some groups and calling friends and saying, hey, we should crowdsource ideas and share information about how to start and grow businesses. And so over the years, it just has evolved into other volunteer opportunities, Bunker Labs being one of them that we volunteered with the last couple of years until recently when they were acquired. And so we wanted to formalize that work into Venture Vets. It's been great. In fact, the last several years, it feels like exponential growth has happened. A focus on ecosystem building, statewide and citywide initiatives and funding and resources and programming have grown, it seems like. And so the collaboration between what we've done and the willingness of folks with those resources has been wonderful. There's still room for growth, but I am very happy with how things have progressed over the last several years. I don't know if I'm not surprised, because I think that it's a matter of when we ask folks in our network or even outside of our network to help, whether it's providing capital resources, whether it's providing mentorship, whether it's offering to facilitate a course or workshop, people always say yes. And so there's this automatic air of wanting to collaborate and wanting to support the veteran and military spouse community. And I think with Venture Vets and what, frankly, others in the state like Elevate Ventures and Indiana Economic Development Corporation, they have amplified that with the work and focus with the veteran community. We are hosting Vet Pitch, which is a pitch competition for veteran, military spouse, military connected entrepreneurs. So if you are a child of a veteran, you're eligible to apply. It's non-dilutive funding, so it's grant funding, and first prize is $25,000, which is great. It's industry agnostic, so you can be a construction company, you could be a cybersecurity company. Either one would be eligible, and the deadline to apply is June 9th. We get a lot of questions from entrepreneurs, either new entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, about the capital side. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of resources out there. It's ensuring you understand what the best fit is for your type of company and the stage of development that you're in. And so what's nice about Vet Pitch is that it's a resource across the spectrum of entrepreneurs and beyond the stage of development, but also the industry. And so with that, and with the support of Venture Vets, our concierge matchmaking that we're able to do, we can help those entrepreneurs along the way. We have folks that are so ready and excited to help and to jump on board. It's interesting. I think now that we're able to, when we say, Venture Vets really is a state and hyper-local focused initiative, folks are very engaged with that. I think when it's a little bit broader, you don't know if you have a return on investment back here in your specific community, but knowing that Venture Vets is focused on Indiana, folks have been very willing to collaborate, be supportive, make connections, and jump in to help the entrepreneurs.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. McKenna Hassey is a sprint car driver who started out selling lemonade as a child. Now she has her own mobile coffee business while she keeps her racing career running. This year she landed a prime location on Pagoda Plaza during the Indy 500. We caught up with her about 5:30 race day morning before the gates opened. Good timing for us, because for the rest of the day the lines were long at the Stop 11 coffee trailer.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
I I've always had a passion for entrepreneurship from the time I was a little kid. Like, I just always wanted to sell. Like, I would always go door to door just selling whatever I could. I guess it was just kind of something rooted in me. I went to a lot of business camps when I was a kid and went to college for business. So I've just always loved it. I guess it's just a passion that I have, just being able to create something and then watching it grow, watching people that want to enjoy your product. So I can even remember when I was a kid, I would like pitch my toys to a fake panel of investors instead of just playing with them. I like point out the features that they have, stuff like that. So I've just always enjoyed business, I think. I wanted to start a shaved ice business in Indianapolis because they're pretty popular back where I'm from in Iowa, and started looking around and came across a lot of challenges, and I ended up finding this mobile coffee trailer for sale for a pretty great price, and so we just learned how to make coffee. I was in a pretty bad car accident on Interstate 65. I was hit by a careless driver, and I was hospitalized on Stop 11 Road, and I wasn't there super long, but for some reason I just thought of the idea for the name Stop 11 Coffee, and I live in Greenwood, so that's how we came up with the name, and started learning. It's hard. Indianapolis is a big city, and so there's a lot of commercial opportunity that I found here compared to Iowa. There's a lot more people, but it is harder to make relationships. It's harder to, for example, like get into certain venues or find property, stuff like that. And, you know, without having a ton of connections here, sometimes that can be a challenge. And so going mobile was a pretty reasonable option and a lot more affordable. So you kind of just have to start where you're at and take a risk and just try to be responsible about it. Well, at first I really didn't think that we would have an opportunity to be here, really. I just kind of figured it was super hard to get in, and it ended up being, I don't want to say simple, but I think we were pretty just clean cut with what we were going to offer and had pictures of the trailer, and they were really anxious to have somebody selling coffee. Roger Penske noticed the trailer and just asked if they could put a fresh coat of paint on it and kind of spruce it up a little bit. And it's definitely opened a lot of doors being here just for me to make connections in the racing world. And I think sometimes when you diversify what you do in business, you never know what doors that might open. Like even through my foundation that I have, I've been able to meet different people. So you just never know. So it's really cool that my coffee business that I thought really had no relation to racing has now led me to great contacts in racing. I want to take my racing career as far as I can, whether that's racing sprint cars professionally, racing NASCAR, and then potentially someday working in leadership in motorsports, using my business skills and my passion for racing to be in leadership. Youth Racers of America is a National Youth Motorsports Foundation, and then Compass Racing Development is a faith-based program for kids that I've given them the chance to race. I think just seeing the hope. I mean, the last handful of years have been a huge struggle out here in Indy, and when you're in a rut and you're trying to build something, people tend to not want to shed light on that, you know what I mean? Like people want to see the end result more so, and so it's just been really encouraging to just hear people complimenting our product, to see people being supportive of us being here has been really encouraging, and then just seeing new sponsors join our race team, just to see momentum in your businesses is just really encouraging.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, beoshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.